WNBA referees simply playing against Caitlin Clark and the Fever.
New footage has come out. Ref not called. This is a foul, okay? This is a foul.
Seattle Storm player just got exposed after she brutally attacked Caitlin Clark, making her unhealed groin injury even worse.
When the only star in your league is constantly on the bench.
Fans were already furious seeing Clark's leg taped for weeks with no action. But as always, the WNBA stayed silent, milked her fame, and left her to fight alone.
This is another year and another case of WNBA referees not making the right calls when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
I mean, I thought I'd seen the WNBA sink to new lows before, but the Seattle Storm game? Yeah, that's a different level of pathetic. Once again, the league's golden ticket, the one player literally carrying this entire league on her back, Caitlin Clark, gets targeted right in the middle of the game.
Obviously being fouled. Right in the first quarter, Caitlin Clark obviously being fouled.
And who's at the center of it this time? None other than Easy Magbegor, the Storm's so-called defensive star. Yeah, defensive star if by defense you mean wrapping up players like it's WWE. Mid-drive, clear as day, Ezi Magbegor hooks her arm across Clark's midsection like she's auditioning for a chokehold.
The referee's literally right there. Like, bro, you're right there. I don't know, man.
Obviously being fouled. The refs don't call it. Storm and then wonder why.
The ref? Standing there like a statue. I mean, the man is practically breathing on them, eyes glued to the play, and still, no call. Let that sink in. You got a 6'4" center basically mugging the most talked about player in women's basketball, and the officials just let it slide like it's part of the plan.
Foul on the Fever? How?
Look at
this. That's not a foul on the Storm. Then here we go.
And it's not just the fans losing their minds over this. The entire internet saw it. Viral clips popping up everywhere, people pointing out exactly how rigged this is starting to look. But where's Kathy Engelbert? You know, the WNBA commissioner? Nowhere. The woman disappears every time this happens, like she's got a strict ignore controversy policy in place.
One of the worst missed calls I think I've ever seen in basketball.
No press statements, no league-wide announcements, nothing. I mean, God forbid the league show they actually care about protecting the one player keeping them relevant. They want the Caitlin Clark effect. They want the sold-out arenas, the record-breaking TV ratings, the merch flying off shelves. But when it comes to standing up for her when she's getting assaulted on live television, radio silence.
Caitlin is boxed off.
Caitlin Clark is the star. Everything else is wrapped around her, and everything else is revolving around her.
Let's not forget Pow Pow. Yeah. Hina Pow Pow, out there playing full-contact defense like it's rugby. Spotted more than once laying hands on Clark, getting physical in ways that would make any official with two eyes blow the whistle. But of course, same pattern. No calls, no consequences, nothing but crickets from the refs. Meanwhile, Clark's out here being the Rookie of the Year frontrunner, the face of the league, and still treated like some bench warmer. Honestly, at this point, it's a joke.
And if you actually go frame by frame, you can see that Pow Pow had two hands on Caitlin. It wasn't just a one-hand hand check. She was kind of grabbing her with two hands.
But don't sit there thinking this was a one-time incident either. This has been happening all season long. This league is starting to feel like they've got a personal agenda against Clark. Game after game, the elbows come flying, the body checks get harder, defenders grabbing jerseys like they're shopping for fabric, and every time the refs act like they left their whistles at home. It's not an accident anymore.
Even though Angel Reese was playing, the same Angel Reese that the mainstream media keeps telling us is a huge star.
This is a full-blown pattern. You got TikToks and viral videos exposing the side-by-side comparisons, Clark getting slammed with 0 calls, while players on the other side get fouls for breathing too close to their opponent. And Sophie Cunningham? She's probably the only one who's fed up enough to call this mess out for what it is. She's been slapped with more phantom fouls than anyone, hands in the air, not even touching anyone, and bam, foul called.
People want to get mad when Sophie Cunningham pretty much did what she did. If the referees ain't going to do it, somebody got to do something, right?
But Clark gets bounced around like a pinball machine, and it's just business as usual. Even Fever coach Stephanie White had to admit it. Clark's under fire every single night with no backup from the officials. But the league? Pretending like it's all just part of the game.
They call a foul on Sophie Cunningham for doing absolutely nothing. Dantas just her hands in the air, another foul, touch foul, touch foul, touch foul.
And here's the part that really fries my brain. Let's talk numbers because the stats do not lie, even if the referees do.
WNBA referees simply playing against Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Guys, for this one here.
Before Clark stepped foot in the WNBA, these games were averaging 300,000 viewers. You hear that? 300,000. That's barely making a dent in the ratings world. Fast forward to now, and we've got Indiana Fever games smashing records left and right. The recent matchup averaged 1.7 million viewers, peaking at 2.2 million. That's not just good. That's historic.
It's tough to win games when you don't have your best player.
Third most watched regular season game ever. And ESPN, they're laughing all the way to the bank with a 14% boost in coverage. ABC's WNBA ratings up a ridiculous 76%. And every single top-rated game this season, guess who's on the floor? Caitlin Clark.
And one of the potential reasons that she's constantly on the bench is because of the increased physicality that she's forced to deal with every time she's on the court.
Merchandise sales through the roof, ticket prices spiking anywhere the Fever show up. Fans lined up around arenas just for a chance to see her play. And what does the league do to repay her? Let her get battered like she's a rookie at a rec league game. NBA protects Steph Curry like he's wrapped in bubble wrap. NFL's not letting anyone breathe on Patrick Mahomes without a flag. But the WNBA? Nah, they're cool letting their star player get clobbered as long as the money keeps rolling in.
It is a mad situation just all around when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
They're milking Clark's image for all it's worth, plastering her face on every promo, pushing jersey sales, hyping up every clip for views. But when it's time to protect her on the court, suddenly they forget how to run a league. The hypocrisy is unreal. They want the Caitlin Clark effect, but they refuse to give her the basic protection every elite player deserves. It's exhausting to watch, and honestly, the league should be embarrassed by how they're handling this.
The WNBA is physical, and she just needs to get over it.
Let's talk about the absolute disaster class that is the WNBA's handling of Caitlin Clark's injury. You'd think after everything this girl has done for the league, the bare minimum they could do is keep her upright. But nope, Seattle had other plans. And the Fever coaching staff? They might as well have gift-wrapped the injury themselves. So picture this. Clark's been playing through visible discomfort for weeks.
For both teams the same way. Many times when the Seattle Storm drive it and do the same layup, why would you not call it for the Fever? See, look at this. Every time they shot the ball.
We're talking taped up upper leg, limping off the court, looking like every step hurts. And instead of letting her rest, Coach Stephanie White decides to sub her back in with 16 seconds left on the clock. 16 seconds. The Fever are up by 8 points, game's done, victory locked. And here comes the genius-level coaching strategy. Let's throw Caitlin back out there to run around for literally no reason. Because that makes sense, right?
3 games, it is very clear that Caitlin Clark is not feeling like Caitlin Clark.
It gets worse. Aaliyah Boston, who's supposed to be one of the team's most reliable players, fumbles the handoff like it's her first day on the court. Clark, ever the competitor, chases the loose ball, jumps awkwardly, and there it is. Grimace, immediate clutch to the groin, clear as daylight something went wrong.
And Aaliyah Boston throws a bad handoff to her. Like, it was a bad handoff by Aaliyah Boston there. She's then running after the ball, and then she just pulls up with something. She pulls up with something, like she just jumps in the air.
But the best part? This entire situation was avoidable. Everyone with eyes knew Clark wasn't at 100%. The taped leg, the way she was moving, the energy just wasn't there. And now they want to act surprised? Fans are furious, and honestly, rightfully so. This whole groin injury saga probably wasn't even new. Word on the street is this could have been mismanaged from the jump, disguised as some quad strain, and they thought taping her up would magically fix it.
She just jumps in the air and then eventually hits the deck in that position there. Like, she could have definitely blown at her knee from that landing, by the way.
Let's also not ignore one of the biggest elephants in the room, Clark's off-season bulking up. Now, I'm all for getting stronger, but let's be real. When you slap on extra muscle that fast, your body needs time to adjust. Mechanics change, movement shifts, and injuries creep in. It's like the oldest trap in pro sports, and Clark might have walked straight into it.
But it wasn't only her performance on the court that was worrying fans, it was also just her demeanor, her energy. It felt like something was wrong. She wasn't hyping up the crowd like she normally does.
But guess what? Despite limping around, despite groin pain, despite getting body checked every game, Clark keeps showing up, keeps playing, keeps carrying the Indiana Fever, and by extension, the WNBA's entire revenue stream. And the league's still out here profiting off her face, her stats, her viral clips, while abandoning her health like it's an optional add-on.
Earlier this month, she missed 5 games due to a quad strain. Now, Caitlin Clark is dealing with a groin injury, obviously.
But here's the part that probably has the WNBA suits sweating. Despite all this garbage treatment, the Fever are still winning. You heard that right. Even with the refs rigging games, even with Clark bruised and battered, the Indiana Fever are showing more fight than the entire WNBA leadership combined. Aaliyah Boston drops a career-high 31 points, 8 rebounds, shooting 72% like it's nothing. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell's lighting it up with 26 points, going 5 for 7 from deep and a perfect 5 for 5 from the line. Let's not forget Lexi Hull, first career double-double, all of it happening because Clark's on the floor, drawing defenders, spacing the court even on a bad night. The WNBA better wake up before they break the only star keeping them relevant. Subscribe for more raw updates. No sugarcoating.